Welcome to Out of the Blue, number 24. Today is October 6th, 2015, and here is our Native Landscape Restoration in Progress sign. You see, this is a fall view, autumn. The trees have just changed color a little bit. And a little squirrel. So today we're going to talk about memories and metaphors. The question is, how are memories stored? And there's all kinds of interesting answers. It's basically a question that we don't exactly know the answer to yet. Science has, there are some answers. They're stored in your mind. They're stored magnetically or chemically. But Neo-Sweo-sauce, we have another answer. Memories are stored cubically. So this then symbolizes one memory. So when I say the cube represents one memory, that is not science, that is metaphor. But it's sometimes easier to think in metaphorical terms than it is to think in scientific terms. Because if this is one memory, and it's a little cube or a little block, you can imagine these being stacked up into a wall. The wall can then be part of a house or a room or a building, and you build these structures of memory. And if you're thinking in scientific terms, in terms of chemical reactions and electromagnetic blah-de-blah, that's not quite as easy to imagine stacking electromagnetic chemical reactions into a house. Whereas if you take these little cubes, it's quite easy to think of turning a bunch of these into a house. Or you can have longer ones too, like little bricks. Instead of a cube, you can have a brick, like a brick of watermelon. Cubic-tritarians are familiar with this. But let's go look at these purple flowers for a minute, and then we will shift gears. Ooh, look at that. Color. Purple. Apostate, a person who forsakes his religion, cause, party, etc. Apostasy, total desertion of or departure from one's religious principles, parties, cause, etc. Apostate, a person who forsakes his religion, cause, party, etc. Now, my question for you today is, apostate is not someone who ate pasta, but an apostate is a Pastafarian. Pastafarians are apostates. That is a very strange coincidence, if you ask me. So here we have the headgear of a Pastafarian, the colander, and here we have the headgear famously of Johnny Appleseed. Johnny Appleseed was not a Neo-Swedenborgian. Johnny Appleseed was an actual Swedenborgian, and he went around wearing a pot on his head. Now there's a connection here, because the colander, the strainer, is no use without the pot, because you have to boil your pasta first and then strain it. Now I personally am a Neo-Swedenborgian, and so apostasy, apostrophe, and Pastafarianism, what do they have in common? What do they have in common? Apostasy, apostrophe, and Pastafarianism. They have the pasta sound in common. But pasta by itself is not all that good. Because Neo-Sweo-sauce, Neo-Swedenborgianism, is a kind of sauce. It is an intellectual and intellectually, yet also viscerally satisfying sauce, which means it tastes good, it smells good, and it feels good. And it's good for you.